Hello and welcome back. Normally this is a kind of video that you would put in like a stream kind of scenario, a stream situation where you scroll through Reddit or what have you and pick a couple of random threads and read through them and discuss them, but I'm not much of a streamer. Not good at it. So we're kind of doing this in video format. I do have stuff in the works as of right now. I do have we have two classes left to cover in the Cyberpunk Red library, and I am currently in the process of recording one of them. I stopped halfway through yesterday, and I just don't want to completely burn myself out on it, so we're for the moment just putting that on hold. We have the exec class left, and we have the nomad class left. I am also working on a third type video where it's my first lore video, and it's, to say the least, it is incredibly fucking long. So I'll get that done eventually. That particular video is not exactly a pressing matter for me. It's more a side project, because once we finish the classes, we have to learn how to roll a character sheet and then learn how to actually play the game. So lore will kind of be done in between all that, and well, let me tell you, if that stack of books right there doesn't tell you anything, I've got plenty of lore so far to sift through, and I know I have more books that I have to pick up, but that'll come in time. So, like I said, for now, I just want to do a bit of a relaxing video, one that doesn't require much effort, one that doesn't require much planning. I want to chill. So that's what we're gonna do. And what better way to chill out than to scroll through the r/Cyberpunk Red subreddit. It's still Cyberpunk involved. I don't do anything else with my life outside of tend to my family and think about Cyberpunk. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look. So I specifically decided I was going to go ahead and create this Reddit account just particularly for this YouTube channel. You can contact me using this username right here, no asparagus 7981, and my display name is retrobrainrot_YT. So this is what we're going to be using permanently for any sort of boring little scroll videos I might decide to create in the future, where we just scroll. I'm not terminally on Reddit. Just on occasion I hop on here in case I have problems, with a ruling, or I need some help deciphering, the writings of Mr. Pondsmith, just on the off chance I need some sort of assistance. So we're gonna go ahead and start. We're gonna go ahead and try to find us a nice little post to discuss. Imagine we make it daytime in Night City. Holy fuck. Our Talsorian Games fucking hire this man right now. Ooh. Is a solo with no points in interrogation horrible or ridiculous? No. Why do you keep asking those questions? This is a TTRPG. You can play anything you like and have fun. A solo without a single fighting skill could be an excellent character if everyone at the table is having fun. You're not necessarily useless if you're a solo without any sort of like communication skills. They're just helpful and handy. I mean, you can make a solo that is just entirely a bruiser type character. He does nothing but fights. Anyway, ooh, I like this. I want to take a look at this real quick. Custom foldable character sheet, booklet style for new players. Ooh. Well, really, it doesn't do much. All it does is take things from portrait to from landscape to portrait. Oh, they're specifically meant to be. The sheet is formatted so it can be printed on A4 pages and folded like a small booklet, making it feel more like a mini player guide than just a sheet full of boxes. Page 1 is the front cover, 2 and 3 the inside pages to keep open during play, and 4 is the back cover with the less used info. You see, that could be handy. Because the biggest hurdle for me was, in Cyberpunk in particular, the biggest hurdle for me was learning the character sheet and assigning things from the book down into character sheet format. Anyway, that's cute. See, I want to try this right here. I want to try single player mode. I do really want to try single player mode on relatively soon, and when I do, here's an idea. When I do, would you guys be interested in seeing how solo play would work? I mean, I would be narrating everything. Clearly, it would be like me running back a battle report almost, instead of just, streaming a full group session. I would be narrating what happened in my last campaign, and I might stream the solo play campaign, but like I said, we can discuss that later. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Bar Lizzie? Or Lizzie's Bar? This one here. You want? I'm gonna zoom in just a tad little bit. There we go. And, move my fucking face. I was trying to resize me right here, but I was on the wrong monitor, so I was sitting over here trying to grab the corner of my video and resizing it on screen. Oh my god. Alright, failed believability check, because this pertains to a class that we've already covered. Hope I used the right flair. I've been looking through the rules trying to figure out how to interpret a failed believability check when my media publishes an article. They mentioned what a successful check could do, but I couldn't find anything about a fail. How do you GMs/solo players interpret one? The culprits end up in jail, but the public doesn't believe the story. A reputation hit. Story has no consequences at all. Not sure how to integrate that into the narrative. Thanks, Chooms. I think the important thing is to have the failure outcome carry a hook for the media's next move. Maybe their piece on a new corporate scandal gets zero traction, which prompts the execs behind the scandal to get comfortable and start acting more brazenly, offering the media a second chance to really nail them to the wall if they're willing to do something extremely foolhardy/dangerous to get the real dirt. If it's a specific piece, or if it's a piece on a specific public figure slash celebrity, my God, I apologize. Maybe it comes across as a hit piece or fake news and prompts harassment or violence from the figure's supporters and fans, putting the media in danger, but again, giving them a chance to dig deeper into what it is that the figure is doing that connects them to these violent individuals. Maybe the piece fails because the person or group it's about is able to spin it hard into making the media look foolish. It doesn't reduce their reputation in the mechanical sense, but it does put them on the back foot, and now they really have to prove they've got that killer instinct every good media needs with the next big scoop. One of my medias failed their believability check. As the GM, I had AI algorithms bury the story. It wasn't that the article sucked, just Corpo AI cut the knees from the article. And you see, Pondsmith kind of leaves gaps, at least what I'm noticing. Pondsmith kind of leaves, the failure up to the group. He doesn't exactly necessarily handhold when it comes to his game, and I like that. Oh, this one's actually handy. This one actually might help me out too, because I'm not entirely sure how I should be visualizing the net. I've been kind of doing something or I've been kind of describing the net in such a fashion where it's all wireframe. It's all wireframe type stuff, kind of like you're playing old school Ultima or something. So when it comes to net running and whatnot, I've been describing it as that, like old school wireframing, or you're looking at Blender assets without the skins. Give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back. I'm back. I made the decision to get some lemon water because lemon water sounded good in my nice little Squirtle cup. I personally, like I was saying, I want to try to visualize the net a little different. Hello, Chooms. Basically what the title says. I have read the manual, searched for posts on Reddit, on Google, but I am unable to understand it. The chickpea I have for a brain does not seem capable of imagining or visualizing what a netrunner is supposed to see when connected with their cyberdeck and virtuality goggles. I would appreciate it if you could help me so I can describe this correctly to my players, and above all, nice motorcycle, bro. And above all, understand it well, since I am a person who visualizes everything in my mind to understand things, and if I can't do that, I get stuck and it becomes very complicated for me. As far as I understand, a netrunner arrives at a place and connects their interface plug to their cyberdeck. Once this is done, they connect wirelessly to the net's access point. I don't understand how this works either. Do you arrive somewhere and there's like a fuse box or something, or is it like a big server? Then, once connected, they put on their virtuality goggles, and over the meat space they see the net architecture. But what does this exactly mean? This is what I am unable to grasp. Is it like putting on a VR headset and seeing virtual things, and at the same time the people and world around you? Or do you see only the virtual world, but which replicates the structure of the current place? See, before I continue, this is how I had been assuming it. This is how I was assuming net running had worked. You saw a digital overlay of that wireframe structure I was telling you about earlier, but it takes the form of your current surroundings so that you can still see the enemies when they pop up, and you can still take your meat space turns, whether or not you have the ability to shoot and stuff and such. Anyway, and does the netrunner move inside these rooms mentally? I don't know. It all seems super confusing to me. Sorry if it all sounds chaotic. Thanks in advance. I hope you can help me because I have been trying to understand this for a long while, and every time I end up having a headache. Yeah, that's okay. I understand it as augmented reality as opposed to virtual reality. Meat World is visible, but the runner has a heads-up display showing the net, similar to Google Glasses. As for the connection points, I assume that they are whatever the jam wants them to be. I would probably say that anything that is connected to the network can be used as to access the network. So cameras, computers, servers, and turrets would definitely be access points. Things like lights, thermostats, and appliances could potentially be access points, but I would take into account the wealth of the owners of the network and the intentions of the location. A washing machine would more likely be networked in a corpo laundromat and less likely to be networked in a home. The specifics seem to be mostly left up to each table to describe, giving GMs freedom to shape it to their own tastes. You nailed the basic idea though. Virtuality goggles are augmented reality lenses that overlay the information of a net architecture over your normal meat space vision. However, if a netrunner jacks in without virtuality of some kind, they're blind to meat space and fully visualize the architecture, similar to a deep dive. Personally, I run the layout as overlaying the physical space one-to-one, and thus Black Ice and other netrunners in the net architecture are seen as inhabiting the space like any other meat space creature would. If I'm remembering right, the book encourages you to customize programs to match their locations. So that's where you can get really creative. For example, a Hellhound in Maelstrom's hideout at the Totentons might be a fully cybernetic hound, while a Hellhound in a corporate tower might be a designer breed. As for how they move within the architecture, I've always let my players describe how they dodge and attack in net space themselves, and they do also have an avatar of their own design while in the net. My table runs movement between floors as fully committing to the idea of an elevator presented in the rules. Once a netrunner decides to change floors, we visualize them swiping and replacing the current visualization overlay with the new floor's programs and design. Again, you can get colorful with how different obstacles change the design of a floor. However, if I had a player deep dive at any point without virtuality, I would probably describe them exploring the architecture like a typical building or dungeon instead of swiping. As for access points, netrunners connect wirelessly via line of sight when in range, similar to a Bluetooth connection. An access point can be anything connected to the net architecture: cameras, drones, elevators, traps, etc. However, feel free to put weird control nodes into your architectures that have similarly odd access points. Maybe the coffee machine is automated somehow, making it an access point. As an official example, in a gig published by R. Talsorian Games, RTAL, there is an architecture that features a control node for the fire suppressant system in the building. Consequently, all fire alarm switches in the building are considered net access points. Hope this helps. I was pretty much on track with. I can pretty much just leave it as wireframing, but with the building present. So he left it ambiguous for me to do whatever it is that I will with the way net architecture runs. I kind of like the idea of keeping. Sorry, my nose itches. I kind of like the idea of keeping the net architecture in the design of like Ultima, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with that. If you guys like the way that this was described, you can probably stick with that yourselves as well. This will be the last post that we look at that isn't, a meme. And we'll go ahead and hop over to like low sodium Cyberpunk after this. Jack out unsafely. What are the ways a netrunner can jack out unsafely? The jack in out net action says that leaving a net architecture without jacking out will leave you in a world of pain. From what I know, this can be done by moving out of range and losing the signal to whatever you jacked into, or being hit by an effect that unsafely jacks you out. but can a netrunner willingly jack out unsafely? Additionally, how do effects like the Kraken or Superglue interact with that? And does 6-gun or a Kirama entry deck turn even the unsafe jackouts from Kraken Superglue into safe jackouts? It feels like there should be some sort of program that really forces you to be stuck in an architecture and Superglue Kraken and fight it out if you've not spent some serious resources to avoid it, similar to how most people invest in a crash barrier. From my understanding of the rules, 6-gun alone negates that, since if you get superglued or Kraken, you can just walk out of range of the access point and be just fine. Holy shit, I actually have like no idea. I found something I actually have to sit and ponder for a little while. So we're gonna go look at memes, and I'm going to save this Reddit post. Holy shit. Okay. See, I love this Reddit page because on occasion there are posts that make me sit and think for a few days, and this one here, Jack Out Unsafely, is one such post. I've not had my netrunner attempt to jack out of a net architecture unsafely. I've always given them, just enough that they can handle, because we're all still learning the game. So here in a bit, I might have to put my netrunner in a position where she has to jack in and out unsafely, just so that I can experiment with some of these with 6-gun here, or having her find a Kirama entry deck, because I don't know what either of those are. I know what Kraken and Superglue are, if you give me just a quick minute. I'm back. So, and I'm crooked. My god, I am crooked. Something to know is that we as a collective group have all kinds of just tabletop stuff everywhere. What I was trying to find was the Netrunner deck, because it was going to be a whole lot easier than trying to dig up the core rules and hunt through that, but I have no idea where that went, so we're just gonna go with the core rules. And finding, where was it? Bingo. We will go ahead and start with Superglue. Superglue is an anti-personnel attacker type program. It has 2 attack. The enemy netrunner cannot progress deeper into the architecture or jack out safely for 1d6 rounds. Enemy netrunner can still perform an unsafe jack out though. Each copy of this program can only be used once per net run. And the other one was Kraken, which is Black Ice. Where are you? There you are. It's an anti-personnel Black Ice, 6 perception, 2 speed, 8 attack, 4 defense, and its res is 3. If you want a brief rundown of these stats, go ahead and check out my Netrunner video. I will link it down below. It deals 3d6 damage direct to an enemy Netrunner's brain. Until the end of the Netrunner's next turn, the Netrunner cannot progress deeper into the architecture or jack out safely. And of course, the Netrunner can still perform an unsafe jack out. So those 2 pieces of Black Ice are specifically meant to keep you stationary, keep you in the net, so the enemy Netrunner can do whatever it is that they're going to be doing to you. In conjunction with 6-gun and Kirama and the Kirama entry deck, I'm not sure. So I will look that up and get back to you. For now, we're gonna go ahead and look at some memes. Now, when I want to go ahead and look at memes, particularly for Cyberpunk, I hop over to low sodium Cyberpunk, and I sit here and I scroll for very good reason. Very proud of this. Thanks for nothing, bitch. Claire Russell. So, Claire Russell runs a set of side quests for. She runs a street racing gig set of side quests in 2077. I have not played the street racing side quests yet because I can't drive worth a shit in 2077. Oh, that's something. I don't like the idea of Adam Smasher having a doll chip. That's grody. Oh, I made my version of V into a Netrunner as well, so I won't look at anything tagged spoiler for you. That rice was for jambalaya. Come on. I want to try this right here. I want to try just going absolutely apeshit and having MaxTac come down and smack the shit out of me. Just to see how many rounds I can take against MaxTac. What is the... Oh. We will... I think at some point I should discuss that too. Oh, that's cool. I really should start taking some pictures in there. No way. Why not? I love that. I absolutely love that. That's funny shit. So what he did was he stopped he hacked the car to stop the car, got on top, and then sent it forward again. Mi hermano. See, I like Male V's voice actor. I do. He sounds like he belongs in the city almost. You also get to see some really sick versions of V too. Okay. Oh, it's a YouTube video. Okay. Breaking Bad 2077 edition. I don't know if I'm gonna have to put a censorship blur on that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and let it fly. Not this, but 2077's version of Breaking Bad. Oh, you also get a couple of these. I don't know. I'm not gonna play any of the audio because I'm not entirely sure about copyright. But you also get a couple of these reanimations of that one scene from Invincible, which is fucking gold tier. And other times you get posts like, "Ooh, my pee-pee." Right. Okay. Part of me remembered I probably shouldn't be looking at Reddit memes on video, but oh well. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead, click the like button, maybe leave me a subscription. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, go ahead and, click the like, leave me a comment, and maybe we'll scroll through more Cyberpunk Reddit type stuff. Like I said, I do have other stuff in the works. I can show you some scripts real quick, or I have the explaining the executive video half recorded. I need to finish the actual voiceover work, and then I also have to sit down and get some more gameplay footage and take screenshots from the book and so on and so forth and start compiling everything. I also need to sit down and write out the Nomad class and get that taken care of, and then we're finally done with explaining all the classes. After I explain all the classes, I have a lore video that I've been writing, which honestly that can take a back burner for actual tutorial videos and so on and so forth. I have all this stuff in the works, but I wanted to do something that was a little bit more relaxing than just what I've been doing that's been structured and so on and so forth. I didn't feel like doing a structured little deep dive. So if you enjoy the easy videos every now and again, like I said, just comment down below. For now, I love you all, and I will see you later on.